Morning, my friend. In the past month or two, I've started a practice of grounding. And if you're not familiar with it, it's exactly what it sounds like. Where you connect physically with the earth. And let me tell you a little bit about the science of why this is not just some taboo weird thing. If you think about it, all energy that makes up every activity on earth comes from the sun, right? And that sun energy, think about the journey of the energy, starts as atoms inside of the sun. And those atoms and molecules are fused together in a massively hot and ferocious fusion process, which produces the light of the sun and the heat of the sun. And then those solar flares are sent out to the earth in the form of very charged ions. But they interact with what's called the ionosphere, which is a layer of ions I think it's like 250,000 feet in the air or so, around the Earth, which is deeply connected to the magnetic field of the Earth, spewing from both poles. This is why you have the northern lights and everything like that. You can see these ions clashing with the ionosphere. And what happens is in that clash, there is a series of charged particles that this kind of actually creates the ionosphere. So it's like there's ions in the ionosphere, and then more solar flares hit the magnetic field, and the ionosphere starts to generate more and more electric charge. And it would be this really dangerous like blanket of electricity above us that we had no way to cure, or had no way to even itself out if it weren't for the fact that when water evaporates, it goes up into the sky, into clouds, and water conducts electricity. And so you have this situation where these huge cumulonimbus clouds, they get really, really tall, the ones that look like anvils, and they kind of start to tap into the ionosphere. And in doing so, they invite that electricity to come down, and we call that lightning, where as it comes down to the base of the cloud, now it's close enough to bridge the voltage gap between the lower level of the thundercloud and Earth here. So it comes down in the form of electrical firing, right? We call it lightning. And that is just a way of the system, the electrical system that is really the Earth, of all of these electrons moving and all these particles being charged. It's just a way for that to balance out. And us being human beings, made up of the same molecules, we just don't happen to be fusing together in the core of the sun, but we're made up of molecules and energy just the same way. And so where's this going? Well, it turns out as you move throughout your day, activities and biological functioning creates ions and creates free radicals and things like this. You are a charged being, you're an electrical being. Your thoughts are electrical currents. What beats your heart is an electrical current, and what tells your lungs to breathe is an electrical current. Your nervous system is a very, very beautifully organized electrical circuit. And the problem is, we walk around all day with insulators under us. And so we are like thunderclouds that have no way of discharging our electricity. We feel crazy in life, and we have a lot of inflammation, and we have a lot of unhealthy thoughts and anxiety and things like this, because we're literally thunderclouds that can't send lightning. We're just, and then you feel like emotionally constipated. You feel, electrically stuck. A lot of this is really just because you're an electrical being that can't discharge. You just want to become one with the Earth, and that's not a floofy term. That's electrically true, because the Earth is a big conductor. It's all, the core is all conducting metal, and then there's a water system that is all conductive. And in any conductor, it's neutrally charged, right? So you want to neutralize out. We all aim to be neutral electrically. This is sound. We all aim to be neutral as beings, but we think of ourselves as biological or maybe even divine, or worse, nothing. And when you think of yourself from that lens and you don't see the electrical truth of who you are, then you don't give yourself permission to heal in the way that is really important, which is just touch base. Look at this little buddy here. Hey, little dude. So if you haven't already, make it a habit to ground yourself. and just take off your shoes and feel connected with the earth and look around and feel. And I just look at the trees and breathe. And finally, give yourself the discharge that your body is dying for. And as often as you can, go barefoot. It's January in Columbus, Ohio here, so we happen to have a warm day. That's why I got away with doing this. But I still discharge every day, at least with my hands, touching something in nature. And you'll notice that the longer you go without connecting, the longer you go without actually touching base with source energy and getting rid of the electrical charge, the more crazy you start to feel. And then when you go that long amount of time, that long distance of time, that the moment you do connect, you feel it. So give that a try, my friend. Thank you.